Good afternoon, viewers, home and abroad. This is your GID talk show that comes on your way on MTA Gambia on every fourth week, where we discuss on roles and responsibilities of immigration as mandated by the Constitution of the Gambia, Immigration Act, and other subsidiary legislations. So here today, the topic we're going to discuss is going to center on national ID card. Here in the studio, I have the officer in charge of Gambia Biometric Identification System, who is going to take us through the topic on the discussion. Before we move on, my name is Chief Superintendent Musa M. Fati, officer in charge of Community Engagement, Gambia Immigration Department. Before going into the topic, I will also like to the commander to introduce himself to the listeners.
Okay, good afternoon, OIC Fati. Good afternoon, listeners. My name's Chief Superintendent Momodou Jallow. I am the officer in charge of the Biometric Identification System.
Thank you very much, Commander. You are welcome to the show. Suto, I think everyone knows him.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers, both home and abroad. My name's Sergeant Sute Biba, 2IC Community Engagement, Office of the PRO, Gambia Immigration Department.
Thank you very much, Sute. Like I said, listeners, we are here to discuss on the topic National Identification System and National ID card, to be specific. The officer in charge of the ID card is here with us, and he's going to tell us, Commander, who is eligible to have ID card in this country?
Okay, thank you very much for that introductory remarks and also this wonderful question. First and foremost, I would like to thank the command for this laudable initiative, reaching out to the public, sensitizing them, talking to them about our services. Coming back to your question, the national ID card is a document that is issued to Gambians. And when I say Gambians, I mean Gambians only, in line with the Constitution. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. When you say Gambians, is it for all Gambians, or there is a category of Gambians that are eligible to have ID card? Either by age?
Yes, category will come in the age aspect.
Yes.
Because it is clearly indicated in the national ID card regulation that for you to be eligible for the national ID card, you must be 18 years and above. So that is the only category of Gambians that are eligible for national ID card.
Thank you very much. If I understand you very well, what you are saying is that to be able to have an ID card, you must have an 18 years and above.
Exactly.
Yeah, even if you are born in this country, you may be eligible to have other national document. But for the national ID card, before you are eligible to have that one, you must be 18 years and above, is it?
That is what the law says.
So can you summarize what Commissioner just said in local language?
Thank you very much. Mbadi ngolu mbal konton nam fele murtanali na bantabato jang MTA Gambia. Lokum fula atalata kum amaf. Fulanjangon kamin sotale jang memuna immigration kacha bundati ka fay di forum bidu me min kacha ka wolem Gambia ID kato la koti ID kato la ko me wala kacha kam bi na keba membe mararing ID kato la bundala ka fo me Chief Superintendent Momodou Jallow ya nyinin ka janne jumale nyanta ka ID kato soto ay nyine itandi ko ala banki oto ko ID kato mu fenneti men nyanta sot la wolem Gambia dingoti bare ni ko Gambia dingo fana manka beti ako Gambia dingo men nyanta ID kato sot la wolem moti yemil lonko me wajibiyata pour que ID kato soto andu amari fana nyanta kala molti yemil lonko asiyo nyanta sanji tang ani sey sot la wala men tambita woti wolle molti yemil lonko men nyanta ID kato soto la.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Sergeant Ba. All right, Commissioner, coming back to you, so OC, what are the requirements that one needs to be able to have ID card?
Okay, the requirements varies for persons who are 18 years and above. You are to produce at least one of the following documents I'm going to highlight here. These include the birth certificate, the Alcalo or CFO's attestation, the passport, and then the voter's cards. These are the documents that is required for a Gambian who is 18 years and above. Also, we also have a category of people who would acquire Gambian citizenship either by naturalization or registration. So for those people, you have to come with your naturalization certificate. With that, you can acquire the national ID card.
All right, I think that is very clear. Like you said, to be able to have Gambian national ID card, you must be able to produce the following the documents that you have mentioned: the ID card, the Alcalo's attestation, the CFO's attestation, all right, and the birth certificate,
and the passport.
And passport, all right. And also those who have naturalized or registered as Gambian also need to produce their registration or naturalization certificate before you issue them a national ID card. But what of, some people are complaining that they will have all these documents, like they will have ID card, birth certificate, attestation. Sometimes when they go, your officers will still, refer them for the supporting documents. What's the circumstances surrounding in such cases?
Yes, okay. The process of acquiring ID card also has to do with screening, yes, that we call interview. So even if you have these documents, you have to pass through the screening process. And in the screening process, you will be asked questions to determine whether you are eligible or not. And in instances where the applicant cannot satisfy the interviewing officer, the person will be referred to go for more proof to support his or her claim for a Gambian citizenship. There are instances where if you come and then you are asked these technical questions and then you could not satisfy the interviewing officers, you will be asked to go back to your community. Your local authority can attest. That is the Alcalo or the CFO to say, I know Mr. Fati, he's a native of my village and he's a Gambian. Or there are instances where also you can be asked to come with one of your parents to attest that you are a Gambian. Or in other instances also, you can be asked to go and bring more supporting documents, because we are saying at least one of the following. But for instance, if you come with the birth certificate and the interviewing officer is not satisfied, you can be asked to go and bring more supporting documents to prove that you are a Gambian.
Yeah, but some people will say, no, they reject us. What are you saying? Are you saying you didn't reject, but you refer them for the supporting documents?
Yes, at the first instance interview, we don't reject. What we do is we give the applicant more room to prove his or her claim that is a Gambian. That is when we are not satisfied with the interview, we will ask you to go and bring more proof, that is more supporting documents, or bring a witness. This is what we call referral. But there are instances also, if we exhaust all protocols and we have sufficient evidence to prove that you are not a Gambian, then we will reject the person.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. I think that is loud and clear. Sute, can you please just summarize what Commander has said?
Okay, abaraka bake Commander Fati. ID card la nyaton ko kamin foja memu OIC Jallow ta kamin foja wala nyinti ko molu men nyanta Gambia la ID card o sotla ni nata ID card nyinola luwaye nyine foko ini nyin kaytol kana men foteng ini wo kaytol le nyanta kana pour kana ID card nyinola kilimbe kono wala wulu kaytoti birth certificate wala alkalo la CDR kayto e ka fomi alkalos attestation wala CFO la CDR kayto wala ila passport ite même Gambia di lansaroti ñillem kaytolti ini men ñanta nala pour kana ka ID kato ñini anin carte fayrang kayto e ka fo mi voters card ñillem kaytu lulolti ni ñinu soto kilin soto ñinu kono ini wol ñanta nala le kana ka ID kato ñini bare fana ni atara ko imu molete millon ko iwuluta sate dolto inata e banku di ya fali e ka fo mi naturalization wala registration ibotna banku dolto inata ila banku di ya falin Gambia jang ya tani siro la foye ni ya falin ika kaytol de ka fo mi certificate e ka kuma kare kaytole CDR kaytole dire ka foko nyinde mu moleti yemil lonko ayala banku di ya fali naka bonyi banku di nkari to kana Gambia banku di yato woto ni te fanan sulata ID katola pour ka nyini ite mu molete min lonko inyanta wo kaytole kamana wo CDR kaytole min dila ko la banku di ya fali ne be ka fumbi ko sadi ama naturalization certificate wala registration certificate inyanta ka wo kaytole kamana pour ka itandi ko ite mu molti men sulata pour ka ID kato nyini anata nyini ga kote ko nga jele dol ka foko hanne wo kaytol mu su nyoka inata hani fo bi ibuka sonka kayto dilela aka ko hani amanke ko mbuka sonka kayto dilela nka minke wala nyinti ko nyini kar nin jabirle bije ninge nyini ite nata e kayto kamana nge nyini ka minna iman jabino kon laftala nyame kon sulatala nyame jabiro nyi man tol si nka fo ne ko yemuru koma ku fula fo sababije kilin sa fo ne ko muru koma yeta Allah sate oto Allah alkalo walla Allah sefo e sediaro ke ko ite mu je banko dingolti yeta alkalos attestation kamana walla sefos attestation ka sediare ke ko ite e sate o men fo koy bota damento abe sefu tundo men to walla alkalo nyembe sate o to way safero ke kaytandi ko tonya fatide a botan na sate wolto a wuluta janne nga falon ne nga balon ne ya famule walla ni wo fanan tije nsa fa mare ko sai muru ko ma yeta ila wulula kilin kam manyena kadu ntol kete nyini kamena ni te ka min jabi amanke kilinde woto tela wulula kilin kamana men si lono ka sediare ke ntol ka nyini karol menke pour ka liman yandi ko tonya ite mu Gambia dingolti walla ni wo fanam bota je sabanyangon sa foko sa inta yetela wulula kilin la kaytol kamana ka sediare ndir ke mon la ko yemin foko tonyalem karile fati walla karile bamade andu bota sade karile isai wula wulula kilin la kaytol kamanyena akay ko fanan mol ka fole ko alke balile akay ko balir tije membi je ndol buka folo baliro lan kam min folo wala nyinti ko ni nata nge nyinin ka kuma kangol la nge nyinin ka ro la millon ko ima jabino nin ko eta kay tol nyin kamara e kay tol kamana bar fobbi ndol manna kese soto ama kese soto no itela kumol kono wala ila sediarol kono fobbi limani andir man kenon tolla ko tonya item Gambia dingoldi wotumolen ka jeko nsi balanno e bulu ka foye ko foni lungo min na yes limani andiro nati ka foko tonya membe sabatindiro kala ko item Gambia dingolti ha nsi kayto de bar biatara woman sotono nte kayto dino la kato luwaya fo wala nyama abarka ba.
Thank you very much, Sute. I think that is very clear. They don't just reject outright. They have to follow exhaust all the procedures and to have sufficient evidence that you are not a Gambian before your application will be rejected. All right, thank you very much, Commander. Right now, we can see most of your processing centers are busy. What are the modus of operandi at your processing centers right now? What did the public need to do to follow and then get the process done?
Well, thank you. The modus of operandum is basically not much because ID card is a right for every Gambian to have. Since it is a right, it is the obligation of Gambia government to make it accessible to the public. Currently, we have 15 issuing centers across the country. These centers are meant to make ID card accessible to all Gambians in all parts of the country, from Katong to Koina. We only require every Gambian to come with at least one of these supporting documents. If you come, we have centers where people can pay for their application fees, and once that is done, you will go to the JPs, that is the Justice of the Peace, to fill your application form and do the authentication. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you are to submit your application form at the ID card center. For now, because of the rise in numbers of people coming, if you pay your application today, we will give you appointment the following day for you to come for your interview and enrollment. And then once you do the interview, you'll be enrolled, and then you'll be given a time where you can come and pick your card.
Okay, I think that's clear. Sute, can you just briefly summarize that one into local language?
Abaraka bake OIC Jallow aka min fote nyini karo mu menti wala nyinti ko comme ko ID kato be di kan ne say ndung alla do ku dingra ID card du digralto say ku wolbe je nyaadile anata jabi minna wala nyintu ka kay ko tonya bi niya jube folo nga dulal soto la ID card ka di damento ka bo katon fokko na mentar fo dula tang ani lulu andu wolbe be do ko ke kanni akay ko niya jube fan ni nata nga dula soto le kata dame ka joro keje ni joro ke foy pareta e fomo nyin dila ni o fomo nyin tay kayto nyin dila min baytan la ko ite joro kele ni o dila kata molle min be sirinje min ka safero ke ka sediaro ke ko ila kayto la ko tonya tubabol ka fo mi authentication wolle ka sediande ke ko tonya nyimu molte min la Allah ftale ka Gambia kayto nyini ya tampon won mu jepi wolti ni tata wol ya safe foy parta ya stamp ni ya stamp foy parta ni ya natinan ko bi lungola isa fonne ko say ya nati bila ha bare ta sama yana interview nyinki anila natalo nyin ka je ko momo ya ama ya ke awatola ananyanta kela nyam wata batati ite men nata nyini batati naye anata fofanan ko akoni ya jube ID kato mu hadama di Gambia dingola nyantolti woto kabara keta Gambia dingola nyantoti woto wajibole mansakunda to puri fana ya jeko Gambia di memil lonko asiyo sangi tanni sey soto kata way santola amari si ID kato soto no nyame wata batada mantaraje abaraka bake.
Thank you very much Sute for that clarification. Osi, still now on the ID card, there are a lot of complaints. People are saying they are applying and they could not receive their ID cards. What will you tell those people, and what are the problems that are hindering the speedy processing of the ID cards?
Okay, that complaint definitely, we are also receiving it. I will admit that we have some challenges with regards to the production. Some time ago last year, we were with the private partner called, and then at some point the contract was terminated, and then we took over, government took over, and then the taking over, although was not very smooth, it has some challenges, and then we sailed through those challenges, alhamdulillah. We are also trying our utmost best to ensure that, we do produce ID card and then deliver it to every Gambian. But in doing so, we experience some challenges which are more of technical. And then the ministry, in collaboration with other stakeholders, like the Ministry of Digital Economy, Ministry of Finance, we are all working together to ensure that we resolve this problem, because this is the first time Gambia is managing the production of ID card all by itself without any private partner. And then all the proceeds that we are generating from this process stays in the Gambia. 100%, it is ours. So, in doing so, transition is never easy. You have to go through challenges. So we are appealing to the general public to be patient with us, because the government is doing everything it can to ensure that we resolve this problem as soon as possible.
Thank you very much for that clarification. I think those out there will understand some of the challenges we have. Like you said, transition is never easy, and then now that the project is 100% owned by government, you have to overcome some of those challenges before you are fully. And then you are also putting across to the general public to be rest assured, efforts are on the way to make sure that all these things are resolved, as soon as. So can you just summarize that one?
Okay, barka bake. Anata nyinin kamena wala nyida kaya ko ngunu ni ndiyamo siyata bake ka foko ni ID card dunda ka aka wucu jan tale jan bela ID card so akaya ko ha tonya ika moy nyame mfanan ka moy wala nyama bare fenne memil no ka be sabatiri nanda tonya yata meye wonu no wala nyinti ko nal be hakilo ba kannu nunto nin compagnie dole be nun do ko wala ka ID Gambia ID card da ka fo miye Similex kabrila ila manda banta sendiro kana ka sendina Gambia banko kan anata ke fennete millon ko ngatangol domanding soto na ko kono ngakoli akuol dol soto nu je domanding andu yalne kolo akuo soto ta dawoda jandibe ta ufo wo ngatangol bang fa aka kefennede min lon ka ka watindintale aka ko bar bi nga ala tentu bi ni nata jube ministry bunda membe marli nafu bankola nafu lola ani ministry bunda membe marali ika fo mi digital ama ministry of digital economics membe marali bi nyi jamanu labangola nafulu kensin kuola même ministry of digital economics ngam bulol la nyokan ne ka jeko do ko nyin lafta ka ke nyame pour ID card la ko nyesi sonia ay keno fenti yemil lonko abe kala fennet men bentol be da hanla ay tara nyama wata ngatan dol man soto je kadu ni ajube nyinen foloti pour Gambia banko nyin ya ID card dada wata tol fongol le tamu fengol beti kabo masingol lawo kato la anin dadaro mume wata Gambia dingol fangol lebe loring akuo kumbela wata ini moma buludu nyokono woto pour kaje ko ntambitana ngatangol mimi anin kol ya kuol menna jandimba fola nga wolbang abe kolyari mfele barembe lafirine mobe sa lonko Gambia dingo be sa lonko andumba limali ala nyinna ko mbe kato dango be ke kan ne kaje ko ñi ngatangol ñi nga bang awato la kaje ko mobe kol be si son yano nyame mobe sala kayto soto ko alafta ka soto nyame ala baraka
lafta fen fana lala je maybe a ñina tawala wolom ñenti ko muna fango min ka soto ñi ID kato la do koto na fulo fengo fen ka soto je sai abe katu Gambe jande nun to nimmol la ka dengala bantala banku compagnie ni woli tan woro soto mansa kunda tan nani soto bari sa ibaje la ko fen ka soto je abe katu janne ndol le ta so waya kila ko ndol fana ngam fango je ko kono especially ndol immigration fango nun to nintol ni compagnie be do ko wala ndol katara ko mala woli tara nyaato bari sa ibaje la kul be bentol fango la bulun ka do ko ndin ka tamandi so mol be yalon ko wo comme ngafo nyame transition o nyin ateman sonia fani kolya kol sina because fenno mi yalon ko imi pare akamba so na nata ni ba kono ifana ka londol soto kol kono kudol ka funtina so mansa kunda ba kata kam bakele pour kaje ko ID card la ko ya ko nyin topoto akana ke ku merenti Ministry of Interior min marta bankola tankola Ministry of Finance min marta bankola nafulola digital economy wolom ñing technology quality i bebe ñoo kanne ka do ko ke suta tili pour kaje ko ID card nga ko ñing solve fo mo be sa sotono laftal min fangola wolom ya ñini longo min na wolongo fango ya soto ñi mirol bebe larin tablo kan ni ala sonta te mela mol ba a jelal inshallah.
Thank you very much. Just to summarize what he was saying, it's like, he said GID was in a concession with international company where they share the revenue, on 60-40 basis. But now that, the government has taken over the contract, now it is fully owned and funded by the Gambia government. That means we now have a national ownership. All the proceeds that are acquired through the process of ID card all stays here, 100% owned by the government. And he also further mentioned that relevant stakeholders that has a stake in the affairs of the ID card are all making efforts to make sure that these things become a reality and we have the ID card at the doorstep of every Gambian. The thinking now is go and apply that very day you get your passport, and by the grace of the God we will be there. Yes. Okay. Also, there are other also complaints that some people will say they are born here, brought up here, up to the age of 18. When they go, GID will tell them that you cannot have an ID card just because their parents are not Gambian. What will you tell those people?
Okay, thank you. GID is not only saying, it is aligning itself with the law, because it is not, for us, we are state agents. We implement immigration matters in line with the law. What the law says is for you to be a Gambian, it is saying that one of your parents must be a Gambian. You see, and then if you are born here with non-Gambian parents, it doesn't qualify you to be a Gambian. Every countries, they have their nationality laws. There are some countries, if you are born in their territory, automatically you become a citizen. That is, for example, like the USA. It is like that. But the Gambia is a different case. One of your parents should be a Gambian for you to be a Gambian. If you are born in the Gambia here, if one of your parents is a Gambian, you will automatically be a Gambian. If you are born outside the Gambia, one of your parents is a Gambian, automatically you'll be a Gambian. So if you acquire it through naturalization or registration, you will qualify. But for the mere fact that you are born here doesn't qualify you to be a Gambian. I know it's a challenge because even in my office, we do receive such complaints, particularly from students who will reach that maturity age. They will want to further their education to the highest level. They are asked to bring ID card. If you go, you do not meet the criteria, I mean, you cannot obtain the ID card. So this is something I think we all need to look into to see how best we can improve our laws, to see how best we can accommodate this particular group of people. But as at now, it is not immigration, it is the laws of the Gambia. If you are born here and then you have been here for 100 years, it doesn't matter. If you are not qualified, you are not qualified, because the law is saying you should get the Gambian citizenship from your parents or you naturalize. This is what the law is saying.
Okay, I think that is very clear. It means that, you know, at the time of your birth, one of your parents has to be a Gambian. All right. So, but what procedures do you think this category of people should follow to be able to have ID cards? I don't think they are completely rejected.
Yes, they are not completely rejected. There are clauses in the law that also open windows for them. For example, if you are born here and you reach the age of maturity, you can apply for registration, and then if your application is approved, then you will be issued with a registration certificate. Through that also you can apply for the national ID, passport, and other documents. But it doesn't have to be automatic, because this is what most people think. I am born here, I am raised here, I do my schooling, everything here. How comes I cannot get the ID card? Because if you are born here and none of your parents, is a Gambian, that means you are not eligible. So what you need to do is to apply, like I said, for registration once you reach the age of maturity, because sometimes you see some of these children also have the opportunity to acquire their parents' nationality, that is from their country of origin. Yes, from their country of origin you can apply and get. But there are instances where also, I have seen cases where the child cannot even acquire the parents' country of origin nationality, and then those people, the only option they have is to register through the Gambian laws to acquire Gambian citizenship.
Okay, that is clear. Sute, can you briefly summarize what? Abaraka bake Commander Fati and Commander Jallow. Commander Jallow be min fo kante akaino ko ngajele do abe siari bankun kanjang diamoni ngunu mo be keri molka foko ha ande wuluta janne unkuluta janne menta janne ndada ID card nyino lay konte man nyanna sotola aka ko ha aka kele katum ika moy nyame fanan ka moy wala nyama ko men ka wo sabu wala nyinti ko Gambia Immigration Department ka fengo fe menke ID card la kuoto nga tukundi nga semmendi Gambia la luwa la ka fo mi constitution no luwa nye min fo tunkun fula be luwa to e min fo wala nyinti ko citizenship by birth wala nyinti ko ite dinni ngo nyin ite keno la Gambia ti dama ila wululal fulol kono kili manke Gambia dingoti oto ni atara ite mu molti min lonko ite wuluta Gambia janne menta jay kuluta jang ila wulula fulol mo manke Gambia dingolti kono ite te kelano moti menyanta Gambia ID kato sotono la katu mune wono ite la wulula fulol be hani kili manke Gambia dingoti to nya nte balino la ka fogo wuluta Gambia la kono mbe sonna walal baraka fogo Gambia dingole fana muti hani luwa man se ime semmentu ya woto pour ka fogo Gambia din lansaro le muti katu ite Gambia din kato sotono la me wono bigo ni a jube akoni na da jube jama bi janden ka bada da fango soto jamal kono men be karangola ni mari ñol karantana fo il faut tata dulato ñanta ka ta ñil londi lu karim karambungol to ko men be ko university wala dula dol to tek e ka foy ko ta ID ka to ñinna ni wol nata diamo ka siale kadu ni koy ta soto nola itol ka nyine je ko itol wuluta janne menta janne kuluta jang munan na itol ta soto nola bare kana nyina fanan ko i wuluta jay menta nyawnya bam doko si me ba ko no nyawnya abuka anda te yelama nola ke nyoti isi wuluno jay yemmen jay yekol be soto jang foy sangi wili kilin soto jang bare ni atara luwa fana e min fo kadu luwa le entol fanan kanta ndol fanan na doko nga denden di wo luwa la wo luwa min fo wala nyinti ko pour ite dingo nye keno Gambia dingoti ila wulula fulol kono kilin nyanta kala molti e millon ko Gambia dingole mati ay ta man sero fango di akko dula dolto banko dolto ni wulute la dandangol to dron ila sate oto ni wuluta ji ila banko kan dron automatically ite mu je dingolti ay ta man sero ta America la ni futata America wuluta America banko kono dron ite mu America dingolti bare Gambia la banko ta luwa ma je wo nyama luwa ya je nyame wala nyinti ko ite la wulula fulol kono ite dinningo nyi kilin nyanta kala Gambiano pour ite dinningo e keno Gambiano ti ako ni na aka saindu nyin ya millon koy be o al halo nyin kono dindingol me wuluta jabe o al halo nyin kono kadu ila wululal manke jan dingoldi wolba keno la nyaadi le kaytol soto kadu mamira ko luwaye balile ferem aka hani silo fanam bijele luwaye mi walam pour wo dindingol fanan si kayto nyinino ya soto wala nyinti ko ika fo miye ko registration wala nyinti ko kata ka saferoke tonya ntede na wulula fulol botnan kankare kunda kare nata bare nte dingo nyinte wuluta janne menta janne ngana karangol beke janne nte man jelo hanni atara e jelo fa bare nte nga janne je ko janne nte yaati wala na mbal dan lan bella feri aliyem ma ko ni sikeno Gambia dingoti bara manke fen de mil longo yadu ndilungo mena soto wolungo lat tubabol ka fo mi automatique abuka keno nyama idol fanam be silare ye korosiri ke akuola ila saferola ibe korosiri ke la baki ka jeko fo e min fo wala be sabatirimba fo mantra sabatiri bar ni tata jube fo wala be sabatiri ala la demaro ni nata ila approval di ko ya di ye sembo di le pour ya Gambia ID card on nyini wo sembo be di la anin kayto le kana e ka fo mi ko registration certificate ni o kayto ama certificate on soto wo ama sembentu ya certificate ni o soto isi wo kayto le tano yeta ay Gambia ID card on nyini isi wo kayto fanan tano yeta passport on nyini.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Ba. If I understand very well, what Osi is saying is that GID as an institution, does not reject those category of people because they are an enforcement agency. They don't make laws. The laws are made by the citizens, especially the Constitution of this country. 1997 Constitution says, at the time of your birth, one of your parents has to be a Gambian. So obviously, if you are born here to a non-Gambian parents, there is no way, GID doesn't have any mandate to issue you a national ID card. And I think that is very clear. All right. Also, there is also this category of people. If you are a non-Gambian resident in this country, whilst you are living in this country, you have some children. So as time goes on, you naturalize. Now, when you got naturalized, what is going to be the fate of these children that you got before you naturalization?
Okay, that's a very critical one. But the naturalization of non-Gambians, you can apply if you are a resident here for a continuous period of 15 years. Yes. During that application process, if you have dependents, you have to indicate those dependents in your application procedures and submit the application. But the dependents who are born before you naturalize are not covered in the naturalization process as per the law. So those who are born after will automatically be covered. So those who are born before, what they need to do is if they reach the age of maturity, they need to apply because the law doesn't want to impose citizenship on anybody. So that is why it is giving you that grace period. If you reach the age of maturity, now you will choose whether to be with your father's country of origin or mother's, or whether to choose your country of residence. So this is it.
Thank you very much. I think that is clear. Yes.
Chief Superintendent Jallow aka min fote wala nyindi ko akay ko ngajele ko modol ka bonay la bankol to kana safaro la wala kana nyinindiro la nanyim Gambia bankon kanjang e ka tara sirin janne fo wol dol ye me jang foy wol dole na dingol soto jang sai ni atara wo meta jande fay dingol soto jang anata kuma kare ke pour ka je ko kala banku di ya falin ka bo abotanan dame ka Gambia di ya tay ka fo mi naturalization wo kuwol dum be nyaadi dindingol la karola katun keba male naturalization oke fo naturalization abe dindingol nyim fanan mu of dari fano be dindingol murala le bang akaye hani ni nata jube luwa la karola luwa min fo naturalization da karola wala nyinti ko ni tata fobe kuma karo ke kam pour ke la wulu ama dinkira falin ka fo kon de wuluta nyim banku karla sa lafta ka Gambia di yalita ibijan sanji tanni lulu wo sanji tanni lulo kono be banko la luwa min fo joro la karola ila kayto le nyanta min jola ya be jo fasita say ni be safero kela ni atara dindingol be bulle dimbal be bulu dingol be bulu e kawol dingol kayto bala kaytani nganyin din dangam le soto jak wolle be mbulu jak nga wolle soto jang jandimbe naturalized bare ni atara wo ko wo kayto nyin CDR kayto dilale ko i sontale ite safero menke pour que la ama banku di ya falin ka boyla banko to wuluta dame ka Gambia di yata i sonta o falindiro fo CDR kayto dilale ka fo mi certificate ni wo dilale wo yete damma kungole mura wo certificate ol dari fano memmu wo yete dammale mura ete me safero ke bare edigol men soto jandite be wo kayto soto la wol dati je wolbe muran wala o dari faade kilingol la nyaadile wala nyinti ko ni siyota da foy sangi tannin seyo soto man nin gol ka fo men ni tara foy mukallafta ya sangi tannin seyo soto itolle bina jubela katun Gambia luwaye min fo imma lafika nyapin konke ka banku di ya la mo tonkan forcé kam ha ibe jande be kala banko dingodi luwa mal lafala sang abi tuletele bulu ite mukallafo idel belo ya fo nte fama boda dula karil sai foy be jele tala bang foy fama ya falindiro menke ka Gambia dingo ite faran i wuluta Gambia janni foy fanan be wakilla ye fama tarandi ala o dari fano fana ye mura i nyanta minkela wala nyi fana nyanta safero le kela ka foko atonya mfama manke nun jankoti ani mbama bare bi mfama nada safero kele watan te dindi anata Gambia di ya soto anunte sa felensiyo e sangitan ni seosi nte wuluta janne nga janne long sai mfana be la filale ale mako demaro men futan nim famala mbela filal fana yo demar kilingo futandina pour mfana sikeno nyaadi Gambia dingoti ako ni wonata boje fana ibaje lal ko dinni wodindi inata min soto kabriye o CDR kayto ta ka foko ye Gambia di yadi lela inata di wo kola inata dindi wodindi soto wo dindi ngo be kelano Gambia roti le katum munem yo CDR kayto soto le kete Gambia di yandi abaraka baki.
Thank you very much for that clarification in our local language. OC has just summarized the question. If you are born to a non-Gambian parent here who later naturalized, the naturalization does not cover you because the laws of this country says that before you get the national ID card, you have to get the age of maturity. So at that age, you are given a leverage to choose whether to take the Gambian citizenship or to take a citizenship by descent from your parents. So if you choose to take the Gambian citizenship now, you also have to apply to register and become a Gambian. After that registration, if you are issued a certificate, that is what you are going to use to come and acquire a national ID card. But also this OC, this category of people who are born to the non-Gambian parent, now they got to the age of maturity, like the kind of people you meet. And you say they need to register. But what of this, if these people are from parents who are staying in this country illegally, they have not been regularizing their status until their son get to the age of majority, and now he wanted to register. You think that would not be very difficult for the person? What will you tell those people?
Well, what we advise is being illegal in any country is not in the best interest of anybody. So we are advising people, wherever you are, try to align yourself with the laws of that country. If you have the residential permit, it has a lot of benefits because we do engage people when they come to our office to tell them that, look, with this residential permit, you are legally resident and your rights are protected. And then also it can open doors, like you said, for the naturalization. But the issue of the parent not regularizing and then the child, because you see each of them have their own individual case base. So the child can apply and acquire on his or her own without the parents' interference. This is why we said if the child reaches the age of maturity, he can choose, because you have instances where some children will be born in this country, but their parents are never interested to be Gambians, but the kids will want to be Gambian. So they can go on their own if they reach the age of maturity, and I mean, they will only apply the residence permit for once. That will prove that, you know, they are a non-Gambian resident, and then they do the registration process, apply. And then if their application is approved, they can choose to be Gambians whilst their parents are non-Gambians. Yes.
Thank you very much. I think that is very clear. So can you briefly?
Chief Superintendent Jallow, akaminyi Commander Fatia nyini karo menken wala nyinde ko ni nata jube molla men botna wandi bankol to nata Gambia bankon kajabe sabatirinya ako jamabe kono dolu wol buka sonkallu Gambia la sartol noma ko ya fo nyame ko nyanta ila kaytol jola ka fo mi pamito sa ni wo mosi falbe keri inata dingol solo jam fo dindingol nyin nata men fo ifutata balaku ya watoma ye sanji tanni seyo soto sa ngo dindingol la ko be kala nyaadile pour yela banque di yaso Gambia banque di yaso tono katu ila wululal benu janne iman inene man la fika joroke pour ka namo men nyanta jola man sakunda to pour nyim pamito la karo ibukajo aka ko ha ni nata jube kolya da bije kolya da tije mune kolya da keje wala nyinti ko ni atara ko ite alpha ibe janne nyin sanjol mume ko ibe janne fo tambita sanji tandi lulo wala fo sanji tandi lulo si ite nene man joroke ni defa ngo sulata lungo men pour ka application ke pour ka ke Gambia dingoti ibe nyini kala wo kay tollal woto ni ne atare ma jono woto sangula ite nyanta ko masila kajo fo sanji tandi lulu do bare ni atara ko dindi ngole yemil lonko dindi ngole mati na siota da fay sanji tandi ama seyo si atuda telebul ko nga fonu nyame nunto mansa kunda buka sapinka onke ka banku di yadi mo kam forcé atuta dindi ngole buka foko tonya ntede mfama ni mbama be natal barente wuduta jande menta jande nganna kuwol be ke jande nya fanuta jande to woton tebe safero kala ka kuma karo ke ko pour yen dema ngake no Gambia dingoti nyame ka tun tenga jande lo yo wokono ne wo ke ite nyanta joro kel ibe joro luwaba fole ko tayeta pamito jo sanje kili wucho kono ka sedi andir ke ko tonya imanke Gambia ama ila wululal manke Gambia dingolti woto walati nete dinningo nyi manke no Gambia dindi ne wo joro ke isi wo pamito e minjo isa tano ya la ila kaytol kay safero ke minna pour ka mansa dani pour ay mako yeke Gambia dingoti ye samba bare wo fona ko nga fo nyame abuka ke kolonto jibioti ye julo jibinda to biroti de ye jibinda poto dundi ya bondi ye min hani aka wato leta wala dina ka tubabol ka fa abuka ke automatique kuti ya dundi bi ya soto be hani aka wato leta ni ala nate dema ye juberi ke la woto inata sonyinna ko tonya ye min fo ya sabatindile woto be Gambia di yade be o CDR certificate o de kam ye ko registration certificate ni wo dile la ibe woleta la eta ID ka to nyini ha.
Thank you very much. I think that point is also very clear. You know, if you are out there and you find yourself to be part of that category, you can follow these directives so that you go and follow the necessary directives. If you are born to a non-Gambian and you are resident in this country and you get to the age of maturity, please follow the guidelines to be able to acquire your national ID card if you do want to be a Gambian. All right. Okay, we also have another category of Gambians, non-Gambians who got Gambian citizenship through marriage. What are the procedures for those people also to get the national ID card?
Okay, the law is saying if you are married to a Gambian for a period of 7 years, you can apply for registration to acquire Gambian citizenship. The conditions are you must register your marriage, because you see we have instances where people will be resident in this country for more than 2-3 decades, married to Gambians with kids, you know, but if they come to the office, they say, well, I want to apply to become a Gambian. And then you ask them simple question, okay, you are married to a Gambian, okay, where is the marriage certificate? It's not there. So most of us do not take this thing seriously, because if you apply, the only proof that will show that you are married to somebody is the certificate, because you cannot go there and tell them it's my wife. Even if you bring all those kids, people can have kids without getting married. So it's the certificate that is going to prove that you are married to somebody, and also you have to show your proof of residence. That is the residence permit for 7 years to prove that you are resident in this country. And also you have to have 2 Gambian shorties who would guarantee you sort of to say that you are of somebody of a good character. And then you should also have sufficient means to take care of yourself. You should not be a liability to the state. You should be somebody who has that economic independence. So that, I think those are the conditions, and then you can submit your applications. Like Sute said, it is not automatic. It has to go through a lot of processes, lot of stages, screening and whatever. Once approval is granted, you will be given a registration certificate. So the good thing about our law is, even if the marriage ends, after you have that certificate, you cannot lose your citizenship. So that is the good thing, because in some countries, for example, in Africa here, I don't want to name, but they will issue you with the certificate. But if the marriage ends today, the next day you lose your citizenship. So you see, but the good thing about the Gambia, even if the marriage ends, you still continue with your citizenship.
Okay. I think that is very clear. Yes. Can you briefly?
Okay. Barka Commander Jallow. Aka min fote nyininkaro min ketan wala nyinti ko. Ako mol yemil non koy botna la bankol to nata Gambia ja nyinindirola foy nata futu Gambia dingoye wala Gambia dingoye futu. Ninke wolem ay Gambia di muso futu wala ni muso lem futu da Gambia dinkewe. Ako say wala banku di ama Gambia di ni lafta ka Gambia di ha woluntangol ni wol lafita ka Gambia dingol Gambia di ya soto iba kala nyaad la ka ko ha asi soto no abe soto no la nyaamen folo ni ya tara ko ite mu kewolti ye Gambia di muso futu wala mu musolti futu da Gambia dinkewe al folo ta ni mu kewoti
yelluntango futu Gambia dinkewe yelluntango
ni Gambia dinkewole muti yelluntango futu wala mu luntango de Gambia di muso futu ibe min folo kala wala nyindi ko atolla futu wo nyanta sediaro soto lale ka itandi ko seediare kuma kare kayto nyanta dila atolla kaytandi ko atolla futuo siti tale andu albe futurinne pour sama sini niye o seediare kayto soto e ka fo mi marriage certificate tubaba kangoto o kayto nyin wala kaytandi ko al futu tale niye o kayto nyin soto ibe min fanan keno la fulan jangoto wala nyinde ko kabri o kayto soto ren kola kabri sango min naytani wala o Gambia di muso nyin fututa sango say be karla kayto jolale ka fo mi residential permit o nyanta jolale ite kewolumo me Gambia ama me Gambia di muso futu wala ite muso men futu da Gambia din kewe ite men bot nang dulato e nata jang inyanta joro kelale fo sanji worowula andu o sanji worowul ko amanke yenyi nanjo ye jari bula jede inyanta jolale sango sam fo sanji worowulo e kempe ni wo sanji worowulo kempeta wo ibe o kayto le tala anila CDR kayto e mindi le kaytandi ko albe futurinne ibe wolle tala yalla nyoka ina safero ke kanyini ndiro ke nyinna pour si keno Gambia dingoti nyame nyine be ko wol kono bare akon dol bi je fana ika jele ko wol kanale ko futu ni nata ye taraja sanji jama mentara fo sanji tan saba nyongol wala sanji mo nyongol ye lunkili ni nata kayde nyino ni nge nyininka ite sanji leke nako ye ntenga sanji mo nin fen sorje nga Gambia muso fangole futu na dimbayata bar ni ya nyininka alla sedi yar kayto le min baytan la ko al futu tale wole amar sa fo he hanim tol ma wosoto wokan naso ke ama ko nyin to fana kotek ako ka duniyaje man sakunda be hatiri nyin kayto la bake nyin futu ama certificate la bake kadum bi nga jele dol bi jele katale ka ikatara nyoka ye dimbaya wata mon futu andu ni men be diari Gambia la karola ni tata foyo kayto soto ni tata foyo kayto dilela kaje ko isontale sain comme ko be futuri Gambia dunga andu luwaye min be nyinin ka ya be ma faale foyo kayto dilela ka itandiro ke ko sai si Gambia ye Gambia di ya soto le ka fo me ko registration certificate itata foyo Gambia ID ka to nyini ya soto ako lungo min na wo kayto dilela hanni adara futu o banta iteni wo mari temale ni atara futu da Gambia dinke wole ite lunta wole futu da Gambia dinke we wala ite Gambia dinke wole wo lunta muso futu hanni atara sama sinin futu wona ata ite o mari ite fonola ila Gambia di yala kotek ako ni ajube banko dolbe Afrika ja malla fika tolu fo wol ni futa je ila di musol futu isi bang ni anyini isi banko di ya di la bare lungo min na futu o kamu da ni di muso tema wala ila dinke o futu o kamu de ini la isate dinke o tema me yete futu num ako wolungo lay fananke ikela banku di ya busi bule ka foy ko kunke fanna abaraka ba.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Like Osi said, the key point at that in this point is the marriage certificate. Those out there who are non-Gambians and you are resident in this country and you marry to a Gambian, please, if you got married to a Gambian and you have the intention to become a Gambian in the near future, please go and register your marriage. Because this is going to also prove that you have been married for that period of time. It doesn't matter how long you stay in this country or how long your marriage has taken, even if you have children. But that does not signify that you got married. All right. So if you are out there and you are a non-Gambian and you got married to a Gambian, the advice from the OC is get your marriage certificate and also be of a good character. Pay your residence permit, because these are all going to serve as a reference anytime you want to register as a Gambian. So this is the point. We are almost at the end of the program. Now I will come back to OC to give his final remarks. You can talk to the public. What advice you have for them?
Okay, my advice is going to be to the general public, particularly employers and business owners. Right now, our team, they are out there on the normal inspection exercise to inspect all workplaces, business places, to ensure that anybody who is a resident here, a non-Gambian, working, you have to regularize your stay. So the immigration is going out and about. So we want to appeal to everybody to cooperate with us. We want to ensure that anybody who is resident here and working, you regularize your stay and ensure that you have your residential permit. So my appeal is going to be to all of the people out there, both Gambians and non-Gambians, please support our team. They are here to enforce the law and ensure that anybody who is resident here abide by the laws of the Gambia. Thank you.
Okay, abaraka bage amna osi kamin fonu nja wala nyinte ko konna doku nyolu memuna immigration molti be finti kanne be taman wala kata doku dinkiral taring aning safar bundal to taring ka jeko ka kisi ke ka jeko men ye kaytol nyi jo ani men man kaytol nyi jo men nata luntan wala karola akabe daniri kala mobe la kabo Gambia dingol la fo Gambia dingol tano men mu luntan wolti momo ninna mol finte futatema alngam bulodu nyobulu nga sabari nyoye nga sonyoma yela do kol kay nyanta kala nyame wata ngatangol man sotal tema ndela karola mbe min fola wala nyinti ko men nata bi kacala ko wala memu national ID card la koti mbe nyong fondin kewol yamar lay millon ko ifa ila wululal keta molleti yemillon ko ibama wala ifama bodna wandi bandala bankol leto inada sabadi jam foyto ite mari wuluta jang woto mbe yamar la minna wala nyinti ko pour ite dinno sama sini ite sikeno Gambia dingoti nyameng ila wululal nyininka fo ibela kaytol jokanne fo luway min fo be oke kana pour sama sini ni de sio sita ID card nyinoma pour ikana ngata ngol soto je wo kammala mba fola mobile ko ala baraka bake nga nyine sotale dum bi kacato fo lungo men ama lokom fola nalal talato lungo ni murtanale jam kotake insina kaca kundo continue ala baraka bake.
Thank you very much OC Jallow. Thank you Sergeant Ba. Thank you to our listeners. That is the end of the program, but the most important thing is people have to understand that GID is a law enforcement institution. We operate by mandate that is given to us by the constitution of this country. And one of those mandates is to issue national ID card to the Gambian. And if you are following this topic, we have discussed at length on procedures to acquire a Gambian national ID card. We have discussed on who is eligible to have a Gambian national ID card. It has to be a Gambian who is 18 years and above. And for you to have this document, when coming to GID, you have to produce your birth certificate. You have to produce birth certificate or CFO's attestation or Alcalos attestation. At some point, your parents' supporting document. Voter's card, registration certificate and naturalization certificates. These are requirements that are mandated by the law for you to have before you are issued a national ID card. So please, youths who are turning into 18, most of the Gambians doesn't like to go and get the ID card until when the need arises. This is your right. National ID card is a right to every citizen. Once you get to the age of maturity, don't wait until the problem arises or something comes that must force you to go and get your ID card. Please go out and acquire your ID card and prove to be a Gambian citizen. Okay, that's all what we have for you today. Until in the next fortnight, we'll be here for another topic on immigration-related matters. Thank you very much.